I'm going to go over two tickers that will be reporting earnings this week. First up is Target. We ended the week at 103.02, down 1.18%. This is where we are. To the north side takes us to one level of resistance and a potential take profit area at roughly 103.64. Above that takes us to 104.35. And at 4 standard deviations, that will take us to basically 105, and it would close out this gap. And then we have another gap to the upside at 106.28, but we are moving farther away from this target on the 5. Now, the middle of the trend and the baseline and one level of support takes us to 102.18. Another level of support and another potential buy-in area, 178. This is also a potential stop loss area. It depends on what side of the track you bought. Now, the next level down is at -3 standard deviations, $100.07. And price will most likely not get to this level from where we are. That would be roughly 99.36. I really should just remove the 4 standard deviations because typically we don't get out or get to that level out there, only because TradingView is constantly changing and updating this graph for us. So it's harder to reach those areas. Now looking left, as you can see, this is your clear sell-off area. And then we flush down. This is support, and a potential buy-in area, and it bounced, kind of went sideways. This is resistance on the way up. So we saw a sell-off, support, potential buy-in area, support, another potential buy-in area, thus the rip. And then we're just grinding along this line. So if we get to here, I will anticipate a bounce, or we just kind of grind sideways or follow this line until there is a reversal. And what else is happening? Oh, we have this gap that closed to the downside already. It's been a while since I've looked at this. The 1-year price target is now 135, so to the downside, 102.41 and 72 bucks. I don't know. Do you think we're going to get there? Comment below if you think so. I don't think so, but let me show you what we look like on the daily. It's been a very long time since I've tracked this. So what happened? The last time I looked at it, we were at $96.37, and before that at 94. Oh, apparently I did a video for somebody, and Ant Does Bruh commented, and what did I say? I said target mRNA microchip back then. Okay, and Philip Morris for shorting. So I got to look at this some other time because I look at that on the monthly, and I must have checked it out then, and the signals told me to short Philip Morris because it probably reached a high. So I'll do that at some other point. It's a good reminder. So 72.78, that's what was the 1-year price target to the south side. 72, oh my goodness, look at that. That just closes out a gap. I'm not an analyst. I don't need to be one. I can make my own predictions. I don't need anybody else to make them for me. And if I have no access to analyst reports, then I know how to do it myself, and that's how I would do it. But there's a gap right here as well, and that takes us to 87.05. And what is the RSI telling us? Well, let me get it to the right spot. Gosh darn it. There we go. So we are going down on the daily, going down on the weekly, and going up on the monthly. So on the monthly, there's plenty of room to move to the upside, as you can see. And this was a buy signal down here. And price, oops, Option R to reset. or option Z, sorry, to undo. So look at this. This would have been a buy signal, and that was at roughly $26. So I could just trade off of RSI, period. That's a great indicator. I do love it. Look at this institutional basing right here, and then a rip to the upside. All right, the next one is going to be Walmart, WMT. Look at that on the monthly. Oh, we're going to see a crack here. You can bet on that. What's the 1-year price target? So 130, we're at 100, but 112 and then 130 and then nothing below that. So that's some bullish ratings here. So 100 bucks. Okay, I'm going to tell you that we could go up and then flush down because look at history repeats itself. There's no way that you're going to stay up here without a pullback. And look at that. And if we go to here, that's a pullback and then another leg up possibly. So keep that in mind. But to the downside, that would be roughly 87.23 for a pullback. Oh, wait, I want to do, that was the monthly. Let's go to the weekly. Option R. We're going down on the weekly. And one potential area to the upside would be 110.87. And then support 81.37. And on the daily, I like to troll on the monthly. So we've got this landmine here. Let's just mark it out while I'm here. Okay, so we're at the middle of the trend, so we could chop sideways. Or the next leg up after those gaps, 114.24. And then, well, while I'm here, I might as well just clean this up. Like I said, it's been a while since I've looked at this. Let's give it right there on February 2nd. We closed that out to the upside at 55.76. Look at that. I should have bought Walmart. I'm there all the time. Unfortunately. Oh, look at this. So we had some sort of a split or something because I tracked it up here. All right, let's take a look at this on the 5 and give you some price targets. All right, so we are at $100, and that is right there, 100, oops, it's 100, why is it not? Let's take this and change that. Huh, weird. Let me remark this manually. All right, 100 bucks right there, down 0.84%. So here are your targets for Monday. Oh, that's because I had it on the wrong thing. Okay, that'll help if I got it on the right spot. Again, when you move this into different time frames, you're going to get wonky price labeling as you go back to the time frame that you want to be in. All right, resistance, 136. 191, 101.46, the middle of the trend, sideways, could be 99.23, and I still have this on the wrong spot. Let's try there. Yeah, much better. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. And then we have a gap to the upside. See, look at that. That is about 103.52. Look, all we're doing is this inverted U shape here for a potential bounce at that line, I think. All right, so did I give it to you for the south side? Let me try it again. 98.11, roughly. 97.59 and 97.06. What else is going on? All right, that's it for Walmart. And what other thing did I want to look at? Oh, Amat. Actually, I really want to do this one, but this is on the bottom of the leaderboard, so I'm going to do Amat. What happened here? As the bonus. 1 year price target 195.72. To the downside 160, so we're there basically. 195 and 240. Very nice. What happened though? These stocks move the most today. Maintained a hold by Deutsche Bank. United Applied tumbled 14% after the largest chip equipment maker in the world reported fiscal third quarter earnings and revenue that beat analyst estimates, but issued a range of revenue guidance for the current quarter that at the midpoint of 6.7 billion was below consensus of 7.3. I mean, they're still in the billions and then they get punished. Piers, Lam Research, and KLA fell 7.3 and 8.4 as well. Okay, well, they said they're going to make 6.7 billion, but the street wanted 7.33 and it got punished. So that's maybe a good opportunity to dollar cost average, option R, to start a position, maybe. I don't know. It's going down some more though. So let's mark this out very quickly. 161.76. All right, here are your price targets. Apparently this is a very close line to where I already drew it. 176.48, 182.59, 189.75, and 197.50. We are still in a downward channel though. And support 152.17, 144.71, and then 137.06. This will be resistance, and then we could chop sideways or just continue our leg down until we see a reversal. And this to the upside will be 188.06. And then we have a tiny one right here as well. And then this gap closed. That one is gone. Oh, look at this. I did this on Tuesday. So in an anticipated move that touched on Friday, August 15th, opened up on June 24th. So congrats if you went short, took us down to 172.15. Oh, and then I guess we touched here. That was a move I called to 195.34, delete. Let me take this to the daily so I can see this in the big picture since it's been a while. Oh, and look at this. Yeah. That touched right there basically on the 4th of March. That took us down to 153.49. What happened here? Oh, what the heck? I need to clean that up. Let me just, oh, there's I see it now. Okay, never mind. I'll fix that later because that did touch. But we have a gap here. And what else? And that touched this wick right there to the downside at 156.02, and then we ran up. And yeah, I've got to do a better job of going back and looking at these. And then that one touched to the upside at 183.85. Congrats there. We made another leg up, as you can see, and then gave it back. That's resistance, and I always anticipate a sell-off at resistance. And then this touched 174.22, delete. This is done, delete. I have to go back. Let me just delete this one, 142. All right, that does it for me. That is a look at Target and Walmart and Amat. If there is a ticker that you would like me to go over, please let me know. Have a great trading week, and check out this. I'm going to anticipate a bounce here to go lower for a reversal. Maybe down, yeah, closing out this gap for sure. Okay, have a great one.